Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Kill the Small Talkers. I'm your host, Alex Caron, and today I'm with comedians Jeff Horste and Esther Nevarez. Jeff Horste is a Detroit native and has appeared on Comedy Central twice, selected by Kevin Hart for Kevin Hart Presents, the Next Level half-hour special, and for Heart of the City. Esther is a comic, actress, and improviser, and gong practitioner. Jeff and Esther host a podcast called We Are Freaking Out. Jeff and Esther, welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thanks for all the kind words. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being on here. I appreciate you guys coming on. We've got lots and lots to talk about. So normally I have this game called This or That. We play it in the middle of the show, but we're kind of changing things around this time. And now we're going to play it in the beginning. So I'm just going to ask you guys a series of rapid fire questions, and if it reminds you of a story, you want to talk more about it, feel free to interrupt and we can go into it, because we have literally 58 minutes to go. So take your time. And all right, well, here we go. Playlist or podcast? What do you guys prefer?
Playlist.
I think playlist, yeah.
Shoes or slippers?
Slippers, I guess. Are they slippers though? Because like slides, I think I just live in slides pretty much.
I have slides.
So slides aren't just a different kind of slipper? I thought slipper was the umbrella term for anything that's not a shoe. I thought like a sandal would be like I think aren't they all the same? Not a shoe? Aren't all not shoes just?
I think they are, but I think slippers, it's just slippers, it's easy to get in and out of, right? It just slip on, slip off. That's what I thought. So I wasn't sure if sandals count as slippers. Oh.
But how are slippers and slides? Isn't slides
I don't know,
a slipper by definition? Like if you ask, I don't even want to say Google too loud because our home. He's gonna start thinking I'm asking him what the weather is. She
slippers.
Sorry, I don't want to misgender my robot.
The Google. That's weird.
Cancel, Jeff.
I just knew that at some point I was like, God, my feet are always dirty, but I can't wear these like furry slippers all the time. And my friend was like, well, just get slides. And I'm like, that's what those are? I thought they were only for the beach. I thought they were like a weird outside sandally thing, whatever. They're like, no, you just wear those inside. They have now saved my life.
Yeah.
But structurally,
yeah.
A slipper is a fuzzy slide.
Slippers are fuzzy.
So why are we acting? So they're the same thing. We got a fuzzy version and a non-fuzzy version.
But if you say slippers versus shoes or whatever the question was, slippers or say, I forget, but somebody might think bunnies, and you don't want people to think that you're just wearing bunnies all day.
Well,
people picture bunnies when you picture slippers.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, Esther and I know them as chanclas.
Yes.
We know him as the chancla, and we knew that, when we're in trouble, holy shit, here comes mother or grandma with la chancla. All right, well, hey, let's continue. Pork or beef?
I don't think I knew what pork or beef.
We're vegan, so already.
We're vegan, so but I can still remember, but prior, back when I was a sinner, I would say that would it be pork?
And now you're saying
would it be pork or beef? Yeah, I think I'd say beef. Yeah.
My parents used to make pork chop tacos, but it was a pork chop with the bone in it, in a flour tortilla. It was a layer of beans, a literal pork chop. And they just fold it.
You can't have a bone in a taco.
I don't know how they did it. They somehow did.
So you had to pull the bone out of the taco? The taco is supposed to be ready to go.
I never ate them.
Otherwise you're just chewing on bone.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it. And we really only ate them when we went to Cedar Point, which was an amusement park that was about like a 3-hour drive or something. They were like, make the pork chop tacos. Why? We had them once a year. on the way to Cedar Point. I don't understand.
So you're
My
eating
parents
this
were weird.
taco, and you have to take the bone out when you eat it. That's like
you have to eat around it.
That's like having like a fruit salad or something, and the oranges still got the
have the
peel
skin on it. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's still got the skin. It's just like, no, make my food ready now. You didn't finish the meal. What do you mean eat around it? You can't eat around. I don't get it. This is breaking my brain right now.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I need to stop being vegan just to try to eat this for once.
We did get
so I
fake
can
pork.
put my brain around this.
We got fake pork recently. We got like a fake, there's a company that makes fake meat, and we usually get fake steak or fake ground beef or something like that. But this was fake pork, and it was really good.
It was. It's pork.
Juicy marbles?
It's pork. Yes.
Are you saying?
Juicy
yeah,
marbles.
So good.
Shout out Juicy
so
Marbles.
Good.
Juicy Marbles,
Juicy
please
Marbles,
sponsor this
man.
podcast. Please sponsor
They're
us.
amazing.
Sponsor Jeff and Esther's comedy careers.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been vegan for?
Since 2019, I want to say.
And was this a decision you guys made together?
Well, I was vegetarian before that, and Jeff just ate meat. And then he literally watched one video from a friend of his who was vegan, and he had a long drive. And I'm just telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called me, and he's like, I'm vegan now. I was like, okay, whatever. And then he really was forever after that.
Was it one of those videos of like they showed you how it made? Oh.
No.
I thought it was.
No. Those came later. The first one was just it was just logic. It was just a man giving a speech, and it was just the person that reached out to me in a way that was like impossible. It was like, I mean, I do have a 3.5 hour drive ahead of me. He approached me like, I see that you care about a lot of stuff on social issues and stuff. You can ignore this if you want. It was the correct approach. It wasn't like hey, fuck you, watch this video, you asshole, stop killing animals.
Well, maybe secretly it was. Deep down, maybe it was.
Sure, but the approach and how he got me was very easy into it of like, hey, just watch this video if you got time. And I was like, I do have time. I have 3.5 hours specifically. And so it was just like a viral speech that a man, that an activist was giving to a college class. And that led me down the road. So first I was vegetarian for a year because I didn't know how to get rid of cheese. And then I just, I made enough fake, I loved pizza enough. And I have always felt that the star of pizza is the sauce and that the cheese,
secondary.
And I'll fight anybody to that, to the death.
Ready to fight.
That's just like, I'm ready to argue with anybody. If you remove, because to me, if you remove the sauce, then you have cheese bread. And that's like an entirely different food item. If you remove the cheese from the pizza, then you don't have cheese on your pizza. Like it's still, it might not be the same, but it's closer to pizza than cheese bread is.
And there's many types of pizzas that don't have cheese on it. There's so many.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So then at first, I think it kind of forced me to make food, which I never was like, I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think that part of it. I didn't realize that when you limit your options, you have to know how to cook something now. So,
well, so since you guys have
made me
vegan, so do you guys, do you guys feel the difference though? Like mentally, like just like health wise, like in general?
I feel like we did at first.
Less fog in your head? Okay.
Yeah, at first it feels different, and then now I feel like I've done it for so long. There's still ways, like you can be healthy and vegan, or you can eat crap and be vegan, and I feel like you can do both.
Like health had absolutely not a single part to do with it whatsoever. That would be very disingenuous for me. I do think it's funny when people prioritize health so much of it. Like if I post a vegan thing online and I say it tastes good. And that's all I said. I'm not trying to convert nobody or nothing. And people will comment and be like, if it's unhealthy, why would you eat that if it's, people care about the health so much when it's vegan. And then I'm like, DJ Khaled is just being a fat ass in every commercial he's ever been in. And nobody cares. Nobody's like, why are you eating those spicy wings? Why are you eating that?
Yeah.
That's not good for you. He's just allowed to be a fat ass. But for me, they're just like, well, why would you be unhealthy? Why would you?
Yeah.
It's just like, shut up. Shut
Right.
up.
Yeah, like that hamburger is processed. Like your Baconator didn't get any process to it.
Yeah.
There was
you
a
don't think
weird double standard.
Yeah, there's no steps in between killing the animal and it appears on your plate. You think it just went straight to your plate? They didn't do nothing. There was no process. They just took the meat as is. Get the hell out of here. I don't remember what the question was.
Pork or beef? That was only number
was
3.
That really the question?
That was only
wow.
3. I still have 37. We have 37 to go. No, I'm just kidding. Not that much. Well, we'll keep it to like 10. Okay. Do you guys, if you had to make a choice to eat only fruits or vegetables, what would you choose?
Can I, in this scenario, can I Google
In this scenario,
which is going to keep me alive? Like, is one?
I go vegetables.
I was going to say, as much as I hate to say it, I think vegetables would. I don't know why, but I have a feeling vegetables would. All the
like
sugar that's in fruits, tastes better.
But I don't know if Google will be like, yeah, but you're gonna die. You got to have a vegetable at some point.
Actually, you know, it could be a life hack.
I don't know the science behind it.
Esther, since we're both Hispanic, I was thinking, did you grow up eating jicama at all?
No, I only eat jicama when it's in the fruit, like when you get the fruit.
Like in a fruit bowl. Huh?
And in that, they'll throw jicama in there sometimes.
Right. Okay. So this whole time, I thought jicama was a fruit because it's sweet. It's like sweet. It's like watery. It's not a fruit. It's a vegetable, and it's actually very close. Actually, it's a root, and it's closely related to the potato. So you can actually cut up a jicama and have them fried like you would potatoes and make French fries out of them.
Wow!
But this whole time, I thought it was a fruit. They're just so good. Yeah. So if you want to, stray away from fruits because of all the sugar and stuff, you can have a jicama, and it tastes just as good, and it's less, it's less sugar. So
I always thought it was funny that people just abbreviate fruits and vegetables in specific scenarios. Because, like, I used to work at Jimmy John's, and then when somebody would say no veggies, you're not supposed to put tomatoes either. So I have to just pretend that I think a tomato is a vegetable in order to make your sandwich.
It's
because if I ask you, oh, do you want tomatoes? They think I'm being a smartass. And I'm like, no, I just know I just know what a fruit and a vegetable is, at least the basics. Maybe not a jicama, but I had my tomato down pat. And so, but I was like, I asked a customer once, like, if that meant tomatoes, and they were so mad at me that I was like, all right, now you ruin it for everybody. I hope nobody wants a tomato when they say no veggies for the rest of my Jimmy John career, because they're not getting them. I'm not dealing with that interaction ever again. Jesus.
Jeff, was Jimmy John's one of your first jobs?
Yeah, it was probably my first like real job where a person gave me money. Was at a grocery store called Foodland, and I was just getting $5 an hour cash to bag groceries. And that was yeah. That's why I say, like, Jimmy John's was my first real. That was the first time the government got involved. But but before that, well, I got hourly. I did sell cable and internet door to door around that time as well through with my brother. But
oh man,
yeah, the first like hourly job was Jimmy John's. Yeah.
Esther, what was
yours, Esther?
What was yours?
Oh, my first hourly job. I worked the minute that I was legally allowed to, and I'm not sure I was even legally allowed to then. I was 14, working.
Jesus, Mexicans.
14.
I know.
Man.
14.
I know Mexicans who
Working-
start younger.
Yep. Working
She
in the back
really
of
actually-
a restaurant.
14's kind of old.
In the back
Sorry,
of
you
a
keep cutting
restaurant?
Back
Yeah,
of a restaurant.
no. Back of a restaurant, a fish restaurant, a nice restaurant. And I made salad. And what was that other set? Ratatouille, which I've never seen Ratatouille since. And I would just put salad
I
in
know
a
it.
bowl or like scoop this weird vegetable stuff in a little bowl. And that was
Right.
it. It's very weird.
Wow.
Hourly, real job.
Esther's always wanted to work. She just nothing she likes more than working. When she was she was trying to work in kindergarten, elementary school. She was like wanting to. She would skip. She tells me stories of skipping recess so she can work for the principal or something. And I'm like,
We would answer
is wrong?
phones in the
Go play
office.
tag.
Yeah, when I was 11 and 12 years old in elementary school, I would work in the office while like the secretary would leave for lunch and the principal would leave. Sometimes the principal was there and he was so weird. We would give him the mail and he had Playboy delivered to the elementary school. Like a Playboy magazine. Because I remember like looking in and like seeing like boobs and we were like, hee.
Oh my God.
And then sometimes he would have us do errands and he would go, Estrelacita, andale. And that's how he called me into his office. Yeah. It was inappropriate and awkward and weird. But
where is this guy?
It's not
What
80s.
happened to him?
I know. It was the 80s. I'm older. That's how things used to be.
Andale. I love
mean-
that he was like, well, I can't get it mailed to my house because my wife is going to see it.
Oh, yeah. Let me get it
Sometimes we had
mailed.
to
Let me get it
babysit.
mailed to my job. Oh God.
We had to babysit his
Yeah.
kid sometimes too. So we were babysitting his kid, answering phones, sorting
You were
mail.
saving.
Yeah, we had to do like little tasks.
Wow,
I mean,
that's crazy knowing. What grade is this?
5th and 6th.
It's crazy in the 5th and 6th grade. If you wanted to, you could have bribed your principal in a way to where you wouldn't. I think you could have like just not had to even go to high school. Like you could have ruined his marriage.
You
know what I mean?
totally.
Because
Yeah.
as a 5th grader, you could have just been like, so these Playboys, like your wife doesn't want to know about them, right?
Yeah. You totally
And I'm
could have
assuming the
blackmailed
kids
him.
that I'm watching, yeah, you totally could have blackmailed them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Missed
Yeah, you-
opportunity.
I mean, yeah, forget about child exploitation. Playboy magazines sent to the school.
I don't
Find
know
this
my wife
man.
saying it, but 5th graders, that's different.
Yeah, that's okay.
These children.
They won't say anything.
Maybe he's watching. What up, Mr. Killian?
Mr. Killian.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
I know. I was going to say, I know that answer.
Cats, but you have to pause beforehand because I don't want it. I don't like the communities arguing with each other. You know, I love dogs. I don't want to have to take care of one is really what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a cat will have a great time running around this apartment, but a dog dog running around an apartment isn't enough room for a dog. A dog needs to be walked.
Yeah. No matter how
So then
small.
it's
Yeah,
like-
it is. Yeah. It needs to be outside. Yep.
Yeah. So then it's like, that's more. Yeah.
Jeff grew up with 1,000 dogs. So
Yeah. I grew up with 7 dogs and 3 cats at one time. That was the peak.
Holy shit.
And it wasn't a house big enough for this. And all the dogs didn't even get along. There was it would, in order for me to break it down, it would be the rest of this podcast. It would be,
but it wasn't
but
it wasn't
I
on
should try to
purpose.
summarize it. It wasn't on purpose. It was just, you start with 2 dogs on purpose. And then there's a dog that's on the side of the road that's like clearly like hasn't eaten in a while and is scared behind a dumpster, and then they like earn the trust of that one to bring that one home, and then it's always like on holidays that they would find a stray dog, so the dogs would already like make it. Yeah, it was always a day that like the vets were closed, so before we could figure out what to do, puppies have been made. They were fucking before there was even a time to even and then you get the puppies, and then you give them out to your family, and then some of your family don't know how dogs work, so they're like, this dog snapped at my kid. Yeah. And like, why did they snap at your kid? The kid was, touched his bowl when he was eating. And it's like, yeah, I'll bite your fucking hand off if you touch my plate. Yeah, that's what you got to teach dogs. You thought he would just come trained? It's a puppy. You got to work with it here. Then we would get some of the dogs back, and then it turns into 7. And then, and then they didn't, but at some point there were 2 dogs that became like just mortal enemies, where if they saw each other, it was on sight. They would fight to death. Yeah. But separately, you could trust them with a baby. Like they were the most gentle dogs separately. You could 100% trust that your life was not in danger, unless you're in between them so we were constantly having to close a door and then be like, is it safe? And then I fucking forgot. Is it safe? I don't think there's anything I've said more in my childhood than the words, is it safe?
Is it safe?
And it was, it was like, okay. And then that means somebody on the other side of the house because we would like let out our dogs like in shifts, like different families, because there was 2 different families essentially. And, so we'd be like, okay, so we could let them out, and then we'd let them in. They could run out in the backyard and use the bathroom, and then we would let the other ones out and use the bathroom. And then our backyard, which was it was a good sized backyard, but then it was also, we didn't fix the fence. Like they were always, if a dog wants to climb your fence, it's gonna climb your fence. Ain't nothing you can do unless this is like some prison barbed wire situation. Your dog's getting out of there. And they were constantly and we were just taking scraps, old tires, just trash in the side of the road, just trying to duct tape it to the fence to fix holes because the dogs were constantly running away. And then I meet Esther, and she has a cat, and it's way easier. Like, this is way easier.
Jeff, this sounds like a 9 to 5. That's your first job. That's what you.
Yeah. It really was.
You're building fences, your shifts, taking care of dogs. You know what always bugs me is when people who aren't pet owners, and I get it. I used to ask this too, but it's like when someone's walking to their dogs and like you go, oh, like, can I pet it? And they go, sure. And then the question that they ask, which irritates me, is, does it bite? It's got a mouth. It has a mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
it's an animal. It's an animal.
I'm assuming if I say yes, that you can pet my dog, the assumption I'm making is he doesn't bite.
Right?
I mean, like he can though. If you fuck with it. But I'm assuming that he won't, because most people that have the respect to ask are the people that know how to interact with dogs.
That's true.
So I'm assuming if they ask that the dog won't bite you, if it's a dog that doesn't bite. But it feels very late in the process to ask if it bites. If you're like, it feels like that should have been the opening question.
Can I pet it? Yeah, that should have been. Yeah. Like, does it bite?
You're already petting the dog.
Can I pet it?
Bite?
Right.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
And then, Esther, what, pets?
I was going to say, do you have pets?
No, I wish I did. My grandma had a poodle, and her poodle had like 6 or 7 babies. Yeah, and eventually she like gave them away, but like every time we'd go over to grandma's house, we would like play with the puppies, and she was like, okay, you can like fake take one, like, fake one is yours, so like I had a poodle that I named Nico, and every time I'd go over, I'd play with him specifically. I'd play with the other dogs too, but him more specifically. But like there's also the thing, like I'm highly allergic to cats, which sucks because I really love cats. Sometimes I'm allergic to dogs, but it's mostly cats. But we actually, a few years ago, we adopted a stray. We kind of took him into the house, and because my mom and brother are even worse. Like, their allergies with cats are even worse than mine, and mine are pretty bad. So we made like a bed and a room for him in a garage, and we fed him, took care of him. My sister took him to go get his shots and stuff, and get him looked at, and he was fine. And but because he was always around, I felt like my immune system grew stronger around him. So I could be with him longer, and I could play with him longer, and it would take even longer for the allergies to like kick in. But it was the sweetest thing. Every time I'd come home from work, which would sometimes be late, I would park in the back, and he would like to hop over like our garage and kind of wander around the house. But he would stay close. So he would hear me come home from work, and I would open my car door, and there he is looking up at me. I'm assuming he's like, hey, like, where were you? How was work? Is everything okay? Like, and I would get out of the car, and he would like walk me to my front door. Like, he would like just, paddle on by. And then it was the cutest thing. He would look up at me, and then he would kind of like tap my like leg. I don't know what that meant, but he was like, it was like a gentle little like tap, like, hey. He's so cute. Yeah, his name is Twilight. I wanted to name him Binks because Hocus Pocus, Black Cat Binks. But my brother chose Twilight. But yeah, I don't
know why I thought Jar Jar Binks when you said Binks. I was like, wow,
that would have been.
Sure.
That would have been fine to you because I'm a Star Wars fan, but I was like, Black Cat, Hocus Pocus, he's got to be named Binks. Yeah. But I wish I wasn't allergic. Otherwise, I'd have like 4 cats and 6 dogs in here. But our landlords don't allow pets, so anyway, that couldn't happen anyways. But eventually, when I got my own place, which will be in another 30, 40 years, I will have pets for sure. But okay, well, we have a few more.
Okay.
Soda or juice?
Juice, yeah.
Juice.
And both of us, I think, agree on that. Jeff doesn't drink, we call it pop. Jeff doesn't drink pop.
I don't drink pop. To me, unless it has liquor in it, it serves no purpose. It doesn't taste as good as juice. You're allowed to have. Yeah, but see, to me, that had a purpose.
Pop.
It's not. It's pop that makes you have energy. Pop doesn't give you energy. It just tastes good, and that's the thing to me. If a liquid, if it's going to be bad for you, what else is it doing? Is it bad for you and give you energy? Is it bad for you and make you drunk? What does it do? If it just tastes good and it's bad for you, then I don't even understand why I don't even understand why it's illegal at this point. It's silly. It makes no sense.
Oh no!
I will only drink soda.
RFK in here.
Yeah, I will only drink pop if you put some tequila in it or some shit. Then it's like, okay, now this is a purpose.
Yeah. We're only going to have soda pop unless it has tequila in it. But we took out the red dye. That guy. Jeff, I love how
allowed to do the voice now.
Yeah.
He's too evil. I can do the voice.
Yeah, he's gonna put somehow beef tallow inside in pop probably. I wouldn't put it past him.
It'll be bear.
Roadkill.
It'll be a bear. It'll be roadkill. Jeff, I love how you're so good at this. You're so good at it because I was watching clips of you, and I've been a fan for a while. And you're so good at like it's almost Seinfeld like, where you could like just take like small, topics and just kind of just go off and riff on it. That is a talent on its own, because I feel like I sometimes I run out. I'm like, I don't even know what to say anymore, which is why I'm taking improv to help me get out of my head again, so I can continue those riffs. But that's a good talent.
I think it's just I've made
good skill.
I think I've just wrote down I think other people, when they get angry about small things, maybe they just get over it faster than I do. And it sticks with me.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. One of my, I was like 17, 18. Speaking of going back to first jobs, I was working at Albertsons and I was a bus boy. You know, I would bag or not a bus boy, a bag boy. I would bag the groceries. I would, face the items. I would take out the trash. But one of my main jobs was to collect shopping carts. I would have to collect the shopping carts from outside, from the corrals, bring them back inside. And you don't know how many times, I'm sure you guys have dealt with it so many times too, where you're at when you're there and people just would leave their shopping cart in a handicapped spot, or they'll leave it in another spot, just totally block it, or they'll put it in a place that just doesn't make any sense at all. And it's like, dude, you're like literally 2 feet away from the corral. It took so much just to walk 2 feet, 10 seconds to get to the corral and leave your cart there. So that would be easier on everything. Because I've seen shopping carts, like the wind, and it's not even like that windy. It'll take them.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll hit cars. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
And it irritates me. Even to this day.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago. It irritates me when people don't put their shopping carts back. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the Midwest, the parking lots were bigger, and so you'd have a lot. I'd see that a lot more there in Michigan. The scenario of a huge parking lot, somebody just leaves their cart wherever, and then a big windy day, I'm like, oh man, that cart's coming. It's kind of I'm like, oh, that's coming. That's gonna hit that red car. And out here, the Ralphs that we go to, they lock up the carts, and it makes me want to kill someone. I don't know if I have to kill Ralph specifically, but there's times when I'm just like, I get so angry where I'm just like,
because it's not even
why?
the wheels lock. They will take 100 carts and put a giant chain around them with a padlock, and then you're just like, okay, what?
There'll be a group of 20 of us. I'll make friends with strangers over our bond of just pure anger of the like, so do you want me to steal stuff? I'll go up to a worker and be like, do you want me to steal from your store? How do you want me to, or do you want me to juggle? Or do you want me to only buy things I can carry in my hands today? I thought I was going to spend a couple $100 on groceries, and I don't know how. Because this is insane. And it's like, there's so many more carts, but they're locked. And I'm like trying to like pull them out. And it's like, it gets me so mad. So then sometimes I just leave the cart, not in like a handicap spot or like blocking a spot, but I'm like, yeah, if I bring it back, they might lock it. You might not ever get it again. This might be the best chance for the people.
There wouldn't be enough.
To leave it by the cars might be the only way that somebody gets a cart,
Jeff is for the people, man. I think you should run. You run
for the people.
Something. You are for
carts. I used to support, Target. Target has the best carts. Their cart game is just better than every other. Their carts, I feel like they must get new carts like every year or something. Because compared to other places, don't you feel like the carts at Target are just a better quality before Target was canceled?
Yeah.
Top notch shopping carts. They're wide. They're tall enough. They're easy to move. Every now and then you'll get that shopping cart with like the one bad wheel, but for the most part, I've never experienced that with Target. But hey, that concludes this or that, and you guys won. You won. There's no prize, but you definitely won for having juicy opinions on the small mundane things in life. But I wanted to get back to so I guess this question for both of you guys. So you're both comics. You've met each other, I assume, through stand-up comedy. But take me back before all that. What were your guys's, like when you were growing up? Like, did you grow up with like an artistic family? Were they, like how did the idea of getting into stand-up come about?
I can say I got into stand-up because I wanted to take improv. I feel like later in life, okay, family-wise, artistic, I don't know. My dad was super funny, but I feel like my parents grew up in a time when, like, you just get a job and then you have the same job if you can forever, and you get a pension and you all that stuff. Boomer mentality of like art is like that's something you do if you have spare time after the job that you have.
Yeah,
that you
that's a hobby.
Yeah, give your life to. So never felt like that, other than I went to school for audio engineering. So the goal was like, oh, I want to play music and I want to like work with musicians. So I wanted to work with artists, but then still tell my parents, but this involves like calculus. So it's a real job. So then later in life, I just wanted to take improv because I felt like I had the morbid feeling of I had friends who were like dying, like passing away. Every time a friend that I knew like died, I was like, life is short. I want to go just try stuff. Why not? So I took improv, and then the improv class had a stand-up class that all the improv people in my class took. So I was like, oh, I think I should take the stand-up class. It's cheap, whatever. So I just did that from a class. And then I met a bunch of people. The class really only taught like what to expect when you go to an open mic, really. I mean, and to write your stuff down. I mean, the class is basically write your thoughts down. And if you go to this open mic, they're going to be mean to you. Show up at this time. And if you go to that one, they have a better audience. And there weren't even as many mics as there are now. I feel like stand-up has gotten so huge. It used to be like, here are the 5 places. There's a guy named Joel. Go up and talk to him beforehand, and that was class.
Was that out here in LA when you were taking those classes?
No, in Michigan.
In Michigan.
In Michigan. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's great.
Yeah,
how
I started?
How about you, Jeff?
For me, family-wise, my family's funny, but there's nobody else that like does that's in this like world of. I never thought that stand-up comedy was like a real job or anything like that. I never really had like an opinion like that as a kid. And then in college, there's a friend of mine who, like right after college, told me that she worked at a place in Ann Arbor called Big Ten Burrito, and they had an open mic, and she's like, "These people are terrible. You make me laugh. Even if you're bad at doing it, you can't be as bad as these people. So you should give it a shot." You know. So she kind of just suggested it for me, and then I was like, you know what? Sure. Like I felt like my friends always kind of made me feel like I was funny. So I feel like I always had the opinion of myself that I was funny. I just never thought that stand-up was real. So when she was like, give it a shot, I was like, sure. You know, I just kind of assumed it would just be a hobby. And I enjoyed it. But it was a perfect place to start because it was so unprofessionally ran. It was like none of it. They didn't tell us. The people that were running it were new at comedy. Like you should have somebody running a show, even if an open mic, who it's not one of their first few times doing comedy. But it was clearly nobody explained how much time anybody was supposed to do, what a light was, none of that. I did I think I did like 20 minutes, my first open mic. No, because nobody told me how much time to do. So I just wrote down the idea of things that I thought were funny. And I didn't even think of, well, how do I know when I'm done? I'm like, this ain't my job to run it. They'll tell me. And then I never thought that far. And then it was, so I feel like it was such a warm, welcoming environment because it was so low stakes.
Yeah, no pressure.
That from there, you know, you just meet other people that are like, oh, well, if you thought that, there's another mic at this place. And then it just kind of builds from there. Yeah. That was the start of it.
did you come prepared? So for that like 20-minute set, did you come prepared? Like, did you have notes written out, or is it just were you riffing, or you knew what you were going to talk about?
No, it was, I thought of what I was going to talk about, and it was pretty much the same type of a set list of just like a couple of words that would remind me of the idea of each thing. I never really have ever had like the joke written out on a sheet of paper on stage. I've always just the words of whatever the joke was about, type of a thing.
And is that up until this day?
I just had far too many. Of what?
Right. Do you continue with that sort of mentality of just, like you don't write it down?
Yeah, I write out my jokes like ahead of time. I try to like think it through most of the time and type them out. But just on stage, I feel like reading the exact way that the joke is written on stage feels like I would just have to pause for too long. I feel like I'd have to read it first entirely. Like the audience would just be like, all right, hold on a second. And then I don't know how, like sometimes when I see people, they have a whole book on stage at open mics and then they're like looking through it. I'm like, I have no idea how the hell, I don't know how you do that. I'm not even criticizing it. I'm just like, to me, that would be too much information. I'd be overwhelmed. I just want a couple of words that reminds me of what the joke is about. And that's what I would prefer.
Esther, do you work similar to Jeff in that way?
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I write on stage until I got to LA, because in Michigan, there's actual audience at open mics. And so I feel like I would just have like a random thought and then just go on stage and I would just like talk about it and then think about it later. Like, oh, I added this to the joke. I added that until I got here. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize how much I just add on in the moment and then use that and build it for the next time. But yeah, I definitely write. I'd like to write more beforehand, and I think I have that as a goal, and then I don't do it as often as I would like. I'm more so we'll just have the premise, go to a mic, talk about it, and then that generates more. Or at a show, just accidentally say some stuff, and then that generates more.
And are you guys recording yourselves? Like, do you press record on your like voice memos and place it on the stool, and then listen, go back, listen? Oh, that got laughed. Or bad at listening back, but I do.
Bad at listening back. I've got years and years of open mics that I've never listened back to again. But it's there if I need to prove in the court of law, I guess, for some reason. I don't.
We have before, because I remember listening back, like, and it's weird because in the moment you think it sounds a certain way. Then when you listen back, I feel like it sounds different than you remember in the moment. But then if you listen a third time, then that seems to be like what actually happened. Because I'll think like, oh, this went well, and I'll listen back and I'll be like, well, that doesn't sound as loud of laughs as I remember. And then I'll just get discouraged and then listen again and be like, okay, fine, it's good enough.
Do you guys remember like going back, do you guys remember the time to where you maybe first encountered someone who was heckling you, and then coming to today, to the present day, has that method of dealing with a heckler changed at all, or has it pretty much stayed the same? Jeff?
I think I used to get more like bummed out.
Yeah.
I remember being like I remember being in a mic because they had real people, so they were just basically shows. But I remember like somebody I said a joke and someone was like, "That's not funny," and then I was just bummed. I was like, "Oh," and then now if someone's like, "That's not funny," I feel like I would just talk to them. I would just talk to them. I feel like I talk way more to the audience now than when I first started. Because improv helped that immensely. Yeah. Because I would start, if somebody like talked to me, I'm like, I can't talk to them. I'm going to forget where I am. I won't know what. And now I can just talk and go back to where I was. And yeah.
Yeah, I won't totally throw
I feel like I've gotten less angry. myself. I barely. I think I pick my battles better.
Yeah.
But from my very first heckle, I do remember, and I don't remember what the person said. I was in Detroit. I was at a place called Mandy's, and only white dude there. We're performing on a strip club floor, essentially, it's not a strip club, but there's a pole. You could strip if you wanted. They got all of this. They got the space for it.
Wait, is this different from the nudist colony? Oh, okay. It's just a bar. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this is just a regular bar. And this is in actual Detroit. The nudist colony was a good, that was in Whiteyville, a couple hours away.
Whiteyville?
But I don't remember what the guy said. No, I don't remember what the guy said. I just was so upset that he was heckling me directly. It wasn't a person just talking. Because up till this point, I've just ignored anybody that was talking. At this point, he was talking to me, having their own side conversations. At this point, I ignored all of those people. But he was trying to talk to me directly. And I think the only reason that my set was going well up until that point, which is, I think, why I had the confidence to yell at him. But I just remember him wearing like a Carhartt hat, and he had a Carhartt jacket and some Carhartt boots. And I remember just yelling at him and just being like, "You are sponsored by Carhartt." Like, oh yeah, because he was roasting what I was wearing. And then I was like, and that always felt very easy for me to deal with. That was like the easiest heckle in the world for me to deal with. That was a very good intro level of like, oh wow, the one white guy in the room. I dress like a white guy? Is that what you're telling me? That I don't dress as well? That's you telling me? Yeah, this is how white people are supposed to dress. Honestly. Yeah, this is how we look. Okay, well, welcome to Am I your first white that you ever met? You're wearing all fucking Carhartt. Are you sponsored by Carhartt? I was so angry, and I think there were so many times where it was like I was so genuinely angry that I couldn't even hear if the people were laughing
or not,
and laughing or not. So it was hard to continue with the show because I just have so many memories of wishing people die. And
that time I just remember you were like, "I hope you drive into a tree, drunk, and kill yourself."
Yeah, I was like, drink. Yeah, I was like, well, I hope you drink up. I hope you drink a lot before you drive home tonight. All right. I hope that you. It just gets so angry, and then it doesn't make it better when it's an audience member that everybody agrees is a dick. Then there's a level to where you can't go too far. It doesn't matter what you say at that point.
Right.
You're allowed to wish death on this person. Because the audience is like, no, we hate him too. We've hated him the whole night. That's why, because we all let it build up until this. Sometimes it feels like the audience has been like, yeah, we were just going to ignore him forever, but he has ruined the show. And then I'm just like so mad at him. But now I'm just like, I kind of try to pick my battles a little bit better and realize the stakes if it's not as important. Like when I performed yesterday, there was somebody that was talking in the very beginning very loudly. And I was like, I just ignored it. I was like, I don't.
You said the ADD thing. You were like, oh, you are all testing my ADD.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
well, yeah. So you made a comment on it. Yeah.
I tried to make a comment that the person, that was like, I don't think she'll even know that I'm talking about her. But the audience will know.
So lost in her own world,
and that's enough. So I don't need to engage with her directly and say, can you stop talking during my bar? Me performing at a bar right now. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, well, this is a good segue to my next question, because my next question is, how do you guys deal with shows that don't go so well, and what have they taught you?
I never know if there's an order of who should go first. You go,
Esther.
Okay. I feel like I used to get way more bummed out about them, and now I feel less bummed out about them. So that's good. Maybe that's just like over time, You know
Yeah.
that there's not as many, like, I used to get, like, if I had a bad show, like, I'm bad at this and oh, it's never going to be good again. And try to figure out, like, why, what did I do versus now I think I just some shows go well, some don't. And it's more random than I would think. But there are times when, like, if audio is bad,
Yeah.
I can tell, like, this show is going bad because somebody put the reverb on the speaker system, like on the PA.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
no stand-up ever needs reverb. What are you doing? That's for singing. And so there would be times when I'm like looking around, like, I can tell the audience can't understand, and they don't even know that they are uncomfortable by having to try to hear something that they can't hear. So they're zoning out, and then the whole show is going to get. So sometimes it is like, you can look around and go, oh, I understand why the entire show is bad. Or if I do bad and everybody else does well, then that's more of a depressing thing. But
yeah, sure. Of
that
course.
has, learning from that is, I guess, learning that it's not going to happen forever. I guess it's sometimes everybody has a bad show, and then also trying to change, like, oh, I gotta go into this sooner, or just change the order of how I present jokes.
Yeah,
because I feel like new jokes, I'll have like a cycle of, like, you could say it the first time and it kills, and then the second time you're trying to recreate that, so then the audience can, like, smell out, like, oh, are you trying to think of the next word to say? This isn't worth listening to. And then I'm like, this just went well, and by like the third or fourth time I'm like, okay, cool, I can tell if it's a joke or if it's something that people don't care about, or I'm saying it in a weird way, or I don't know. So that's the learning part from it.
How about
yourself? I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
What do you think? Or where is my question? It's been how do you deal with a show that isn't going well, and what has that what has that taught you?
I feel like it. I feel like that's why I think that it sounds cliche, but when people are like, you just got to keep going up, and they never say why, it sounds like a throwaway answer. But the why is really because your expectations change the more shit you do. So I only get nervous now if I'm doing a show in a different level or a different thing that I haven't done before. But it's like a shitty bar show, which, no disrespect to shitty bar shows. I just call it a shitty bar show. If it's in a bar, I'm going to say shitty bar show, even if it's a great show. No offense to anybody. But just the expectations, I'm like, I can't bomb here. Bombing isn't even a category, isn't even a ranking system for this. This isn't set up in an environment to where I'm allowed to feel bad about myself. Now, that's my goal. Of course, sometimes I'm still afterwards like, man, I feel like crap and I wish that it went better. But overall, it's like, I think that there's some comedians that they don't have proper self-awareness. So they have to lie to themselves, and that's how they motivate themselves, is by saying it's always on you. It's never the audience's fault. It's so often the audience's fault in so many different times, and it's because, and it's like, that's why, like that's why comedy clubs have to force audiences to sit together. If we let audiences do what they want, they will never enjoy a show. They won't enjoy the show that they want to enjoy if we don't, as comedians, dictate the scenario more. And then it's like, there's definitely, like, the longer you do it, the more that you are just like, well, this room is so fucking tall. It doesn't feel like we're in it together. It feels like we've all done shows where you can put 50 people in a room that seats 50 people, and that's a fucking amazing show. You could put 50 people in a room that fits 300 and it feels empty. The audience feels more distracted. It takes longer for you to feel like you're connecting with the crowd. And then people that don't do comedy or just comedians that just want to pretend that they're extra tough will be like, nope, it's always your fault if the laughter doesn't happen. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. If that's what you need to tell yourself to motivate yourself to improve, keep lying to yourself. But in reality, I think that I can always try to find a healthy way of balancing. It's sure there's things that it can be more than one thing. It can be, of course, I should have said this differently. I'm just trying the jokes now. And then the more that I listen back to it or try it, the more that I'll realize I'm explaining too much and I can just get to it faster or whatever. Like, I'm sure there's always stuff on my end that I can do better. But if that's all I do, then I'm never enjoying comedy. If all I do is just think of how I can improve constantly and I'm never acknowledging why it's imperfect beyond my, beyond me, then I feel like I would just be depressed all the time.
Right. Well, so Jeff and I, you and I met at it was on top of it was Mama Shelter. It was a hotel. And it was on the rooftop, and the way it was set up was interesting because it was like, for the listeners who haven't been, I think they're like closed now, but on the rooftop, there was closed. There's two like really long like bed couches, and then the stage
people were on beds.
People were like laying down. It was so weird, and it was outside, and I remember it was like really cold.
So sometimes it'd be freezing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the way it was it's really not, it really wasn't set up for like comedy. And like, I remember everyone was huddled under the, like the bar, cause that's like where it was like warm. And so most people were in the back. So I remember like that show, cause I had invited some friends to that show and I was doing my set but most people were hanging out by the bar. So like, I don't know if my jokes were working or not because I couldn't hear them, and I don't know if they could like hear me. So like that made me think that I was bombing, and then that actually made me bomb, and I was like, oh god! But that was the night I met. That was the night that I met Jeff.
I definitely wasn't judging how any comedian did based on the response, because to me that was a perfect example of a show where it's like. And as comedians, especially if we're trying to run a show, we'll take wherever we can. So it's not always the fault of the people running the show of like of the conditions of the show. But it's definitely one of the shows that like, and there's a lot of shows like this where I feel like it looks like it was designed to look good on Instagram, but in all practical, like it doesn't translate to, it looks really cool in photos. Like I've done shows where like people are spread out and they're on these cool couches and it's got a cool backdrop. And I remember one show, it's like you could see the background of the city through the building and everything. And you're like, yeah, this looks beautiful. And none of the comedians, we all thought we bombed for the entire show, but it looks great on Instagram in photos.
Yeah.
Sure. If that's your goal. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's the Coachella of stand-up comedy. It looks great in photos, but out here where everyone's drenched in sweat and everything costs $1 million. So
it feels so LA to say like, oh, you're gonna go to the bar. Are there gonna be beds? Like what? Why are there beds? Why were there beds?
Yeah, why were there beds?
They were like. It's like
that's not the position. Yeah,
no.
You got to be awake and paying attention. The more comfortable you are, the more towards sleepy you can be. You don't want the audience too comfortable.
Yeah.
The more
comfortable. That's why hanging out at a bar. I'm never like, I need to lay down.
So, speaking of which, I have one final question for you guys because we are wrapping this up. But I usually like to ask my guests, not necessarily like what was like the worst show you had, but like what was like the most like bizarre, out of pocket like place you've ever you've ever performed at? I've got a few, but I'm sure you guys have way more. But what's one that like sticks out?
I can say I performed at a high school senior graduating from high school. Like she was her open house. And her mom had seen this group because I was in a group of women. There were like 6 of us maybe that went, and we were called the Laugh Riot Dolls. And so this woman, Heather, would put on shows, and we had a show at a bar, and it went great. And her mom was there. And so she hired us as a group to do like, oh, I want you to do my daughter's graduation. And we were in her house in a family room. I remember they walked the grandma down and put her in a chair, and the little girls were all there in this family room. And then the first person went up, and we even asked, like, is it okay to be dirty? She's like, oh yeah, we loved you guys. The first person went up, and then during my set, they told the person organizing it that they needed to stop because the little girl freaked out and hated it, and she started crying, and she was like, she said something. She said, Mom, make it stop, make it stop. And so she started crying. We were just doing like jokes. The grandma looked all like offended, and nobody was laughing to begin with. We only had like a person and a half went up. And they were like, yeah, you guys need to leave, and you need to. We're like, what did you think was going to happen? Also, we're in a family room. They were like, you can take some food if you want when you go. It was very weird. Little girls they weren't having it.
Make it stop, mommy.
Make it stop.
Yeah.
Wait, was this was the group with Bobby Oliver? Because Laugh Riot Girl.
No.
Oh, it was different? Okay.
Yeah. She just happened to have a similar name.
Okay, gotcha.
But no, this was in Michigan.
Oh boy. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, there's been many. There was a time too when Jeff and I went to a show, and on the drive there, we could tell that all these cars were parked in a high school, and we're like, wow, what's going on?
Shit.
It was the biggest high school football game of the year. It was like Friday Night Lights. It was like a movie. And we pull into this bowling alley, and there were literally 4 people in a table that were like there to watch the show, that the person told them like, can you please stay? Because we booked this comedy show. And we're just like, we just want to leave. Like we're good to cancel. They stayed and they were drunk. They were drunk. And they were just 4 like middle-aged women.
We were surprised because the football game was so big that there was no parking at the bar, at the bowling. We thought that there was. They parked.
At first we're like, this is going to be packed.
At first we're like, this is packed. We barely could. We had to find a parking spot on the road. Like we couldn't even park in the thing, and that was just because there was people parking there and then walking the mile to the fucking football game, the high school football game. And it's so
drunk
weird.
50-year-old women.
It's so weird when people think that they have to, like, I don't know. They're like, they know that they're going to pay us because they agreed
they're like,
to.
we're still going to pay you. And we're like, okay, give us the money and we can leave. And not going to take these 4 women. And then I just got up on stage. I was like, what do you want to talk about? And they're like, titty bars. I was like, all right, we're talking about titty bars. They were crazy.
Yeah. I have a couple of them.
What's one? Give me one.
I got a couple of them.
Kookiest.
The craziest I'd say is the nudist colony for sure. Is being booked to perform at a nudist colony, and we got a speeding ticket on the way there. My brother drove me because I was feeling sick that day, and he's like, it's a story. When else am I going to be able to go to a nudist colony? and then I looked it up ahead of time just to look up the reviews of the nudist colony because I thought that would be funny. And
69%.
And the reviews were funny because one of the comments were, are there any black people there?
But it was from
And
a black
then-
person asking, right?
Oh,
Here's the thing. You don't know. There was no profile picture on the person.
Oh, no.
And so it was one of those things where you're like, is this a black person who's just like, we don't want to be the only black people there. Do black people go to this spot? Or is it a white person that's like, there better not be any black
There better
people.
not be.
You don't know. But there was the only people that they were probably like they seemed to be like in their 30s. There was a younger black couple that was that the only like under 60-year-old group was, and then the whole time I was like, are you guys that commented? Was it you? I want it to be you and not be the racist version of how this could have went down. But the weirdest thing was, they separated the bathrooms as like naked or not, but like the naked people would still go into either bathroom. It was like,
what did it say on the door?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it said on the door, but they worded it into something about like your comfortability. I forget how it was worded, but it was like, I was like, are people going to think that I'm like that I'm being an asshole and I'm not participating if I pee in the I don't want to see your dick bathroom? Or is it like, well, why would I even use that one?
I'm gonna be there anyway.
I'm already seeing everybody's dicks anyway.
It's going to be out anyways.
But then it feels weird wearing clothes going into the I want to see your dick's bathroom specifically. the whole thing was like a mind fuck because the guy running the show, it was very cold outside.
Oh,
the guy running the show said, hey, I'm sorry that people aren't more festive. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I immediately got what he meant. But it was like, so a lot of people were wearing like maybe just like a shirt and no pants. There was a lot, there was a lot of Winnie the Poohs. There was a lot of, or somebody just wearing pants, but like no shirt. Men and women alike. There was a lot of like almost naked. There was half of the people were naked, but there was a half of them that were wearing some article of clothing. And when he said, I'm sorry people aren't more festive, I assumed it wrong. I was like, I'm assuming because, some people, they think they want to do this and then they chicken out. And he's like, no, it's the people that are wearing clothes are our regulars. It's cold outside. They're not crazy. They're nudists. You know what I mean? Like they're like the people that are naked right now are the people that signed up like on Groupon a long time ago. And they're like, this is a dare for him and their wife. And there's probably an argument where they're like, it's cold. Can't we just wear pants? And they're like, I told you that we were going to do this a long time ago, and you said you were okay with it, and now you're going to change your mind and try to wear pants. I knew you chicken out. You don't want to do anything. I knew you'd chicken out. He's like, all the people that are wearing clothes, those are the regulars. The people that are naked are the fucking weirdos. It was weird for the man running the nudist colony to say that everybody that was fully naked was the weirdo. It's but you wanted this. You picked this.
Well, as long as one of the requirements were for the stand-up comics to be nude performing, then
they said that that has happened. That sometimes a comic will choose to be nude just to participate with it.
You have done the underwear show.
I have performed in my underwear before. Yeah, there was a comedy festival that was like
that was a trend for a while. I don't know if it hit everywhere, but I feel like 5-7 years ago, I don't know. There was always the underwear show, the naked show, like in New York.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about the underwear show is by the time that I went up, it was like not an underwear show anymore. You know what I mean? It was like, it's an underwear show in the beginning. Eventually the audience doesn't give a fuck that you're in your underwear. Only the first couple comics can make jokes about feeling naked until eventually the audience is like, now you guys are all just repeating the same joke to start your set. You feel uncomfortable because you're kind of naked, or you're embracing how naked you are, and that's the joke. It's one of the two. And so by the time I went up, it was just like, all right, let's just talk about police brutality. Let's just. It was like a fun adjustment of yeah, okay, we don't have to talk about naked. Let's have something the opposite of this.
Well, hey, Jeff and Esther, thank you guys so much for being on here and telling me about your weirdo nudist colony half naked shows. Last minute, I always ask the guest, this is your moment to plug in. Do you guys have any upcoming shows you'd like to share with us?
I have the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. I'm at the Pack Theater doing improv with my group Casual Outfit. So that's my most consistent show. And then every Tuesday, most Tuesdays, I host a jam there, and there's a show where somebody comes up and tells stories, and we do improv based on the stories.
It's called
Running with the Pack. So that's a free by donation show, and then the other one is on their website, packtheater.com.
Okay. And
yeah. For me, I don't know about a specific show at the moment to plug, but you can. It's all on my either website and or social media at Jeff Horst.
He's going to be on Comics Unleashed coming up soon.
I am going to be. I don't know when that airs, but I'm going to be on Comics Unleashed.
Yeah. I know a few comics that are on that. Yeah.
It's taken over for Stephen Colbert. You know, it's Jeff now.
And then also I got to plug my cat's social media.
Oh yeah, Simba. Where is he?
At Simba with the thumbs. He's sleeping right now. I can grab him if you want. He was earlier. He jumped off of this. He did make a really quick appearance on the show. But,
at Simba with the thumbs.
At Simba with the thumbs.
Simba with the thumbs.
He does tricks. He can skateboard, jump through hoops.
He picks.
He's going to be doing the NBA playoffs.
So if you're doing any Kalshi or anything like that, he's your man. He's your cat.
He had a winning record last year for the football season. So
we saw a woman. Well, we saw a woman last night. We were talking about Simba with the thumbs, the cat, and she was like, "Oh, I follow him." I don't think she follows us. She follows Simba though.
Yeah, she recognized the cat. She's like,
it felt weird. I wanted to be like, so what's your name?
But yeah.
All right, cool, Simba. Guys. Well, follow Simba with the thumbs. Follow at Instagram at Jeff Horst. Follow you on your website. And Esther, your Instagram is Esther Toy. Is that TOI?
Yep, that's my middle name. TOI.
Oh, okay, gotcha. TOI. Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks again for being on here, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it.